All right, Shalom. It's another GMS on the go. Come back at you with another lesson. Slakia. Come back at you with another lesson. Before we get into this lesson, we give all honor, all glory, and all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakar Kodash. Next up, double honor to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught us 100% truth in the Bible and who rule well. And next up, give peace, love, salutations to all the brothers pushing this truth with all diligence and sincerity. And without further ado, we're just going to get straight into the lesson for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, to seek the Lord, man.
That's right.
And you confusing the faces who look like the other nations, but really go back to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's right, because you so-called Negro Latin Americans, this is the time to be seeking the Lord. You see, because Yahweh Shema Shah is about to turn on the heat and bring all these different plagues and calamities upon the face of the earth, such as the famine of food and thirst, race riots, martial law. You see all these different diseases that Esau got stored up in the CDC. You see, and ultimately end all be it all these 200 ICBM missiles. So this is the time for you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans to be seeking Yahweh Shema Shah through his men. So we're gonna dive right into it.
Right. This is Proverbs chapter
Verse 17.
Chapter 8, verse 17. I love them that love me.
Right. So Yahweh Shema Shah, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus, the so-called black man, they love the ones of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans who love them. And how do you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans show Yahweh Shema Shah that you love them? The brother's going to grab a precept.
That's right. This is St. John chapter 14, verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
If you love me, keep my commandments.
And that's right. So by you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans doing Yahweh Shema Shah will, which is keeping the laws and commandments of the Bible to the best of your ability, that's how you show them that you love them. You see, that's how you show them that you care about them. You see? So Yahweh Shema Shah loves the ones of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans who love them. You see, the ones of you who are keeping their laws and commandments of the Bible.
That's right.
So again, go back to that proverb.
This is Proverbs chapter 8, verse 17. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me.
Get whatever piece you got.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it said, and those that seek me early shall find me. And how do you seek Yahweh Shema Shah? You seek him through his men. You see that he set up on the highways and byways. You see, start with our apostles and others, Great Millstone, to the men on down. Because Yahweh Shema Shah speak through men. Men are Yahweh Shema Shah's mouthpiece. You see, and the only ones that's going to seek the men of the Lord early, you see, to find them, to get the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of the scriptures, and apply it through their daily lives, you see, is the elected nation of Israel. You see, because right about now, 2/3 of the nation of Israel, they're not trying to seek the men of the Lord, you see, to get the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of the scriptures. So again, the only ones going to seek the men of the Lord early, you see, to find them, to get the wisdom, knowledge, to get the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of the scriptures, is the elected nation of Israel.
That's right. And this is this is Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the day is come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land.
Right, and what is a famine? A famine is a shortage or a lack of something. You see, so the days is coming to where there's going to be a famine, a lack, or a shortage of something in the land. And what land is that talking about? That's talking about the land of America. Read on.
That's right. That I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water.
That's right, because that's not the famine that Amos is talking about. Even though there is going to be a famine of bread and thirst for water. But again, that's not the famine that Amos is talking about. So we're going to find out and read on and see what the famine that Amos is talking about.
Nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord.
Right. So there's going to come a point in time to where you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans are not going to be able to hear these words being broken down the right way. You see, by the true men of the Lord. Starting with our apostles and others, Great Millstone, to the men on down. Why? Because there's going to be a famine of hearing these words. You see, because soon come, you're going to have all hell breaking loose to where you got race riots and martial law going on in the streets, out there on the highways and byways. You see, and Lord will, we're not going to be out there in the midst of that madness, that chaos, preaching these words. You see, soon come, Yahweh Shema Shah is going to put the spirit on Esau to take down all these videos on YouTube. You see that the apostle and others, great Milton to the men on down, have been putting up there for all these years. You see, to where you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans can't go up there and watch any more videos. You see, watch any more videos of the truth being broken down the right way. You see, so there's going to be a famine of hearing these words soon come to where you so-called Negro Latino Americans are not going to be able to get the true breakdowns of the scriptures. Read on.
Verse 12, did I finish that?
Yeah, yep.
But of hearing the words of the Lord, verse 12, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it.
Right. So soon come you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, y'all are going to be going all over. You see, y'all going to be going crazy in that day when this famine of the word pop off. You see, y'all going to be ready to pull y'all hair out because y'all are going to know. You see, y'all are going to realize that this word was really special and it really meant something. You see? So that's why you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans need to be trying to get this word now before this famine of the word pop off to where you can't get the true breakdowns of the scriptures.
That's right. And to seek this is Amos chapter 8 verse 12, and they shall wander from sea to sea, from the north even to the east they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. Right. I just wanted to make sure I read it. Yeah, this one. And this is Romans. Yeah, this is Romans chapter 10, verse
18.
Yep, verse 18.
You good? Take your time. Take your time.
This is Romans chapter 10, verse 18. Right. But I say, have they not heard? Right. And that's a question. That's asking. Basically, has this word not gotten out? Has everybody across the four corners of the earth not heard this word? Yes, verily. And that word verily means truly or true. Their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. Right, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who've been preaching on the highways and byways since the late 60s. They've been preaching this word since then, and since 2007, when YouTube was first established. They've been pushing this word strong for almost 12 years now on YouTube. So this word has reached all four corners of the earth. Every country and every land has heard this word.
That's right.
Right, and that's what the scripture is going into. If you wanted to back it up.
Yeah, I'm chiming in real quick. And just elaborating on what the brother was saying. These videos started going out, around 2007. You see, with two of the apostles and other Great Millstone, you see, have been throwing videos up. You see on YouTube. Well, here it is, 2019, and we're still constantly throwing up videos. So when this famine of the word pop off, 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans, y'all are not going to be able to say y'all didn't get the memo or the message. You see, y'all are not going to be able to say y'all didn't hear this word. You see, because these videos have been constantly going up since, like the brother said, since 2007, and here it is, 2019. These videos are still going up. Here it is, we doing 3 videos a week, if not more.
That's right.
So y'all ain't gonna have no excuse in that day when this family word pop off.
That's right.
You got a precept? Get that Sirach 5 and 7.
5 and 7, gotcha. Yeah. This is the book of Sirach and the Apocrypha.
That's why you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans need to be seeking the men of the Lord that Yahweh Shema Shah has provided you with. Starting with our apostles and others of Great Millstone to the men on down. You see, because the famine of the word is coming. You see, and if you don't have the wisdom, knowledge, understanding these scriptures, you're not going to know what to do. So you need to be seeking the men of the Lord now while you still got time. You see why the doors of repentance is still open.
That's right. This is Sirach chapter 5, verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord.
Right. And that word tarrying means to wait. You see, or take all day. So you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, you shouldn't be waiting. You shouldn't be taking all day to turn to Yahweh Shema Shah to get your act together. You see, you shouldn't be trying to tarry. So you shouldn't be trying to wait to turn to Yahweh Shema Shah when you feel like turning to Yahweh Shema Shah. You see, because when it comes time for you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans to do something wicked, such as eating your abominable food, such as shrimp, pork, crab, lobster, or committing adultery, or indulging in sodomy, man with man, woman with woman, or marring your beard and making baldness upon your head, or whatever the case may be. You see, y'all don't wait. You see, y'all don't tarry. So just like y'all don't wait or tarry to do something wicked, you shouldn't be waiting or tarrying to turn to Yahweh Shem Shah to get your act together.
Mm-hmm. And putting that on from day to day.
And that's right. And once you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans hear this truth being broken down the right way by the true men of the Lord, you see, you shouldn't be putting this truth off from day to day. Meaning what? You'll be like, oh, I hear what you're saying. Y'all preaching the right truth. Y'all breaking down the scriptures the right way. But I'm going to get up with y'all next week. Right. Next week come, you see, and you ain't nowhere to be found. Right. 2 more weeks come, you still ain't nowhere to be found. A month later come, the truth ain't even crossed your mind. A year later come, you ain't even thinking about the truth no more. You see, so you so-called Negroes, Latino, Americans, you shouldn't be making no turn to the God of the Bible, Yahweh Shem Shah, and you shouldn't be putting this truth off from day to day.
And it reads, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth.
And that's right. You see, so the wrath of Yahweh Shem Shah, all these different plagues and calamities they're going to send upon the face of the earth, such as the famine of food and thirst, the race riots, martial law, the female camps with the guillotine inside them to chop your head off, all these different diseases that Esau got stored up. You see that he's going to unleash against the masses. You see, ultimately, the end-all, be-all, the 200 ICBM missiles that's going to touch down in America. You see, all these different plagues and calamities are going to come forth upon 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans suddenly. You see, quickly, unexpected. You see, all these different plagues and calamities are going to catch y'all off guard when y'all not paying attention.
That's right. And it reads, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance.
Right, and in thy security, meaning whatever you find rest in, whatever you find comfort in. You see, because 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans, right about now, y'all find comfort in all these carnal things that are up under the sun. You just see such as your cars, you see money, your women, family, whatever the case may be. 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans, y'all found security in all these carnal things. And guess what? Because y'all found security in all these carnal things, y'all are going to be destroyed in all of that, and y'all going to perish. Y'all going to be put to death in the day of Yahweh Shem Shah's vengeance, his righteous judgment. You see, so that's why you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans need to be seeking the men of the Lord that Yahweh Shem Shah has set up, that has provided you with, you see, and don't be tarrying, you see, or putting the truth out from day to day. Because that judgment, that wrath is going to come upon you suddenly when you're not paying attention.
I got to preach it.
Bring
this
it on
is Ecclesiastes, Sirach, in the Apocrypha, chapter 6, verse 27. Search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee.
Right. You so-called Negroes, Latin Americans, if you're searching, you see, if you're seeking, because when you're searching and seeking, that means what? You're looking. Mm-hmm. So if you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans are searching and seeking for wisdom, read that last part again.
Right. Search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee.
Right. So if you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans are searching, if you're seeking for wisdom, wisdom is going to be made known unto you. You see, you're going to understand it. You're going to get it. But you got to be searching and seeking for wisdom. And how do you search and seek for wisdom? Through the men that Yahweh Shem Shah has provided you with. You see, start with apostle of the great millstone to the men on down.
That's right. And when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go.
Right. And when you got hold of wisdom and understanding of these scriptures, don't let it go. Hold fast to these scriptures. You see, don't hold it with your dear life, because your life depends on these scriptures. You see. Yeah.
Right, and like the brother was saying, man, you gotta hold to your scriptures. You gotta hold fast to what you got. You gotta be rooted in this thing. You can't be blown every time the wind blows. You can't be blown to and fro in every direction. Once you get the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of these scriptures, you hold on to it until the Lord come back. Basically.
Time, bro. Good. That was good.
Okay. And you got anything else?
Oh. Give me Isaiah 55:6.
So like I had that. That's the spirit kind of. This is Isaiah chapter 55, verse 6. Mm-hmm. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found.
And that's right. So you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, you need to be seeking the men of the Lord. Again, that Yahweh Shem Shai has provided you with, starting with our apostle of the great millstone to the men on down. What? While we may be found. We just got done reading it. Amos 8 and 11. There's going to be a famine of the word. You see? So you need to be seeking the men of the Lord while we may be found. You see? While we're still around. You see? While we're constantly still throwing up videos all over YouTube, and while we're still out on the highways and byways, still going strong through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. You need to be seeking us. Read on.
It reads, call ye upon him while he is near.
Right, and call ye upon him. Not Allah, not Buddha, not the Hindu god of Shiva. You see, not Santa Maria, not Baphomet. You see, not Serapis, not none of these false gods who are no gods. Call upon him, Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, which means what? He is, or he exists. And his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, which means what? He saves or he delivers. These are the living true powers that you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans need to be calling upon.
That's right.
It said what? Why he is near. And Yahweh Shem Shai is still near. How do you know? Because you got the men of the Lord out on the highways and byways week in and week out, still preaching his truth, and you still got the men of the Lord constantly throwing up videos all over YouTube. You want to chime in?
Yeah, and like the brother was saying, while the men of the Lord are still on the highways and byways, and how do we know that that's the Lord speaking? Pursuant to Amos 3 and 7, St. Luke 10 and 16, Matthew 10 and 40, we are the mouthpiece of the Lord. The Lord is going to come down from his
throne.
Yeah, his holy sitting place to come and tell you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans get right. He's going to do it through his mouthpiece, his servants, right?
That's right, bro.
So you got to get right while we still on the highways and byways. And, that's it.
Hold on. Read on verse 7.
Okay. This is Isaiah chapter 55, verse 7. Let the wicked forsake his way.
Right. Let the wicked of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans forsake your way. You see, you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, you need to give up indulging in sodomy, man with man, woman with woman. You need to give up marring your beard, making baldness upon your head. You need to give up committing adultery, sleep with the next man's wife, vice versa. You see, you need to give up on celebrating all these pagan holidays and worshiping all these false gods who are no gods. You see, you so-called Negro Latin Americans, you need to forsake your wicked way. You see, of the things that's making you go contrary to the scriptures. You see, that's making you sin and transgress the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible.
That's right. Isaiah 55, verse 7, let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts.
Right, and the unrighteous man of you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans, his thoughts. You see, you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans, you need to forsake your wicked thoughts. You see, the things that you think about, that you want to do, that's going to lead up to you, eventually going contrary to the scriptures. You see, sinning and transgressing laws, statutes, commandments of the Bible. You see, you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans need to forsake your wicked thoughts. You see? Read on.
And let him return unto the Lord.
Right, it said, and let him return unto the Lord. So by you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans, forsaking your wicked way and your wicked thoughts, you giving all that up, you're supposed to do what? You're supposed to return unto Yahweh Shem Shai. You're supposed to seek him. You see, come back and keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible to the best of your ability. Doing Yahweh Shem Shai's will. Being obedient. Read on.
And it reads, and he will have mercy upon him.
Right. And so if you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans, return unto Yahweh Shem Shai, and you do what he commands you to do, he's going to have mercy upon you. Meaning what? Lord will be able to let. You see, he's going to save us. You see, he's going to deliver us from all these upcoming plagues and calamities that's going to come upon the face of the earth. And Lord will, like I said, will be able to let. He's going to deliver us. He's going to beam us into those chariots. You see, that's the Lord having mercy on us. You see, because rather than like 2/3, because 2/3 are not going to have mercy. You see, they're going to be put to death on this side.
That's right. And it reads, and to our power he will abundantly pardon.
Right, and to our power, Yahweh Shem Shai, he will abundantly pardon. You see, so Yahweh Shem Shai is going to abundantly pardon what? Our sins. You see, from what? From transgressing the laws, statutes, commandments of the Bible. And that's Yahweh Shem Shai having mercy upon us. So that's why you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans need to forsake your way and your wicked thoughts and return back unto Yahweh Shem Shai and seek him. You see, do his will. Keep the laws, statutes, commandments of the Bible. You see, so that what? Isaiah 33:6. So that you can be stable for when all hell breaks loose.
That's right. This is Isaiah chapter 33. This is Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times.
And that's right. So the wisdom and knowledge of these scriptures is going to be the stability. You see, it's what's going to keep you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans above water and balance. From what? From Yahweh Shema Shah, again, turns up the heat and brings all these different plagues and calamities upon the face of the earth. You see, but the ones of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, who are not going to have the wisdom, knowledge, understand the scriptures to keep you stable or above water or balanced, you see, y'all are not going to know what to do. And y'all going to be running around like a chicken with your head cut off. So that's why it's important for you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans to be seeking the men of the Lord to get the wisdom, knowledge, understanding these scriptures so that you can be stable from all these different calamities that's going to come upon the face of the earth.
That's right. And it reads, and the strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Right. The fear of Yahweh Shema Shah, you see, doing what they command you to do, being obedient, you see, it's his treasure, which is what? The beginning of knowledge.
That's right.
That's the fear of the Lord.
That's right.
You see, but again, you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans, you want to be stable. You see, you want to be above water. You see, you want to be balanced. You got to get the wisdom, knowledge, understanding the scriptures, you see, and apply them to your daily life. And the only way you can get the wisdom, knowledge, understanding the scriptures is by seeking the men of the Lord that Yahweh Shema Shah has set up, that he has provided you with.
That's right.
One more. You already brought the Amos out?
Yeah, 5 and 7.
5 and 4.
5 and 4 now.
And then give me that 2 Chronicles 15-13. We close out on those two.
This is Amos chapter 5, verse 4. For thus saith the Lord unto the house of Israel.
Israel consists of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans.
Seek ye me, and ye shall live.
Right. So if you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans desire to live, if you want to live, what you got to do? You got to seek Yahweh Shema Shah's men that he has set up, that he has provided you with. You see, you got to get the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding the scriptures from the men that Yahweh Shema Shah has set up. So that what? You can apply them to your daily lives so that you can live. You see, ultimately be saved from the upcoming destruction that's about to befall this place called America.
That's right. This is 2 Chronicles chapter 15, verse 13. That whosoever would not seek the Lord, Yahweh of Israel, should be put to death.
And the whosoever is referring to you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans. You see, so the ones of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans who are not seeking Yahweh Shema Shah of Israel, then guess what? You're going to be put to death. You see, 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans who are not seeking Yahweh Shema Shah, you're going to be put to death by the way of the famine of food and thirst. You're going to be put to death by the way of the race riots, martial law, all these different diseases that Esau got stored up in the CDC, all these different brutal animals that Yahweh Shema Shah is going to unleash upon the face of the earth. You see, you're going to be put to death by the way the FEMA camps with the guillotine inside them to chop your head off. You're going to be put to death by ultimately the end all be it all, the 200 Iceman missiles coming from the ends of heaven, the ends of earth. You see, from Russia, China, Syria, North Korea, and so forth on. Along with the chariots, with the lazy beam of fire coming down from the bottom of it. 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans will be put to death if you're not seeking the men of the Lord that Yahweh Shema Shah has provided you with.
That's right. And it reads, whether small or great.
Right, whether small or great, whether you're a bum standing on the corner, digging out the trash can for food, you see, or great. Whether you know you're LeBron James, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, you see, Chris Tucker, whoever the case may be. Read on.
Whether, and it reads, whether man or woman.
Right, whether man or woman, because Yahweh Shema Shah, they're not a respected person. You see, so man and woman going to be getting put to death. So that's why you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans need to be seeking the men of the Lord, you see, and not making no tarrying or putting this truth off from day to day. You see, because the wisdom, knowledge, understanding scriptures is going to keep you stable from all hell breaks loose. So seek the men that Yahweh Shema Shah has provided you with.
That's right. And that was it on that.
That was it? One. You got one?
Mm-hmm.
Bring it up.
This is Psalms chapter 19, verse 3. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Right. There is no speech nor language where the voice is being heard. Right. That voice is that wisdom and knowledge and understanding of the scriptures. And that's saying that the word has been pushed to all four corners of the earth right around this point, man. So it don't matter what language they speak in, what land they on, they hear this word and they hear these scriptures and it's adhering to their spirit, man. Verse 4. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. Right. And why? Like me and the brothers going over before, since 2007, we've been pushing this truth out on YouTube, and this truth has reached all ends of the world through the first and foremost our apostles and elders of Great Millstone and all the men on down, man. We've been pushing diligently these videos week in and week out, and going out to the highways and byways, putting them live on YouTube, and everybody across the four corners of the earth are watching it and listening, those who are part of the hopeful elect.
Mm-hmm. So just elaborate back on what the brother said. You see, so this word has went out by the way of YouTube. You know, the unicorn.
That's right.
The internet.
Yep. And just to finish it out, in them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. And just, laying back on the whole scripture, man, this word has been pushed out. Like the brother said earlier, there is no excuse for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. The word has been pushed out to all the four corners of the earth. Prophecies are being passed each day that we hear in Babylon, a.k.a. America. And like the lesson has been going into, man, seek the Lord, man.
Mm-hmm. So with that, hope you've been edified. It's been another GMS on the go. This is the Raleigh, North Carolina camp. Before we went any further, we'd like to give all honor, all glory, and all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son,
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Next up, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teach us this truth according to the Bible and rule well. And a double shalom to all the sincere Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth and righteousness and sincerity to the best ability. Till next time, shalom.
Shalom.